New Democrat Network President Simon Rosenberg thinks hiking taxes on high-income earners is indeed the way to go. All right, Simon, welcome back to the program.
Good to be here, Stuart.
You and I have discussed this before. You think that raising taxes on high-income earners is just the same as what Bill Clinton did back in the 1990s. And we've been through this before. But may I just raise a separate concern here for a second? Sure. Under the president's own plan, we're going to get a total debt of $20 trillion. At the end of his second term. That's the president's own plan. And that's based on some optimistic thinking here about economic growth down the road. Are you comfortable with rolling the dice and going to $20 trillion total debt?
Well, let's talk about what the fiscal cliff will do, because it's a down payment towards, reducing the deficit overall, is that if we do nothing, the plan that Congress passed last year with lots of Republican votes would raise taxes on everybody and cut spending dramatically, creating a massive deficit reduction plan. That's what's about to happen by the end of the year if we do nothing. What's being talked about now is letting the tax cuts for the high-end folks continue, cutting taxes, reducing the tax rates on middle-income people, and cutting some degree of, not cutting spending as much, right, as the deal calls for, so that we don't go into recession. The point is, if we do nothing now, we're supposed to have a recession. And so what we're talking about is ameliorating that, making that a little bit better.
Well, I'm talking about
what it means. I know. So what it means is,
you're not contesting $20 trillion in 2016.
No,
I want to know,
Stuart, are we rolling the dice? So if we allow nothing to happen now, we will actually cut that debt will not be as big, right? We'll have a smaller debt increase than we would now. So what I'm saying is, I don't think that's acceptable.
That's what you're doing.
I don't think it's acceptable.
You're not cutting the debt.
No, okay.
It would have been $24 trillion. Now it's going to be $20 trillion.
Right.
And I'm saying, are you not worried by that?
I don't think whatever we do in the next few months is going to be sufficient, and I think more will have to get done. I don't think we're going to solve the increase in the debt, or as we'll get into the right English on this, right? The debt increases that you're describing. I don't think we should be happy with that, and I think we can do more than what's being contemplated right now. The challenge is, how do we do it in a balanced way that encourages growth, lets everybody pay their fair share, and doesn't cut things in the economy that we know create growth, like education, transportation, infrastructure, and other spending. This is going to be a tough battle.
The underlying premise of what you're saying is that increased government spending creates growth. We've increased government spending enormously in the past 4 years, and we've never gotten beyond, 2–3% growth? That's it.
No, but Stuart, there are things that all economists agree that are critical to creating long-term growth in terms of investing in skills and schools and putting money into infrastructure. That does create growth. There's no doubt about that. That's not a disputable point.
Maybe there is some payoff way down the road. But don't tell me that all economists believe that if you spend some government money tomorrow morning, you'll instantly have 4% growth.
That's not what I'm saying. You said that. I didn't say that. What I'm saying is, right now, there's calls that we're going to have recession if we don't do anything. What the President and the Republicans in the House and the Democrats and the Republicans in the Senate are negotiating over is, what can we do to avoid going over the cliff, which is large spending cuts and large tax increases. We're going to do something smaller, which means we're not going to get as much deficit reduction as you want, and so we're going to need to do more when we come back here in the beginning of the year with the new Congress. Let's hope the two parties can work together to get something important done.
I think that you cut the deficit by growing the economy 4, 5, 6%. But that's another story. One last quick one for you. If we raise tax rates on the rich, do you think it'll be everybody making more than $200,000 a year, or will the cutoff be $250,000? Will the cutoff be $1 million a year? What's your best judgment? Where's the cutoff?
The president wants it to be $250,000. There are others that want it to be a higher number. I think that's what the negotiators, they're going to look at some final numbers and what the package is going to be, and they're going to work that out. The president's been very clear he wants to keep it at $200,000 and $250,000.
Okay. Simon Rosenberg, a pleasure. Thanks for joining us, sir. See you again soon.
Thanks so much, Stuart.
All right. Now, as the fiscal cliff fight